Okay, I have a quick and fast little interview of Nicole Kidman's Babygirl movie. And overall review was it's a very halfway movie for me. It feels very 6.5 or 5.5 out of 10, 3 out of 5 type of movie, which is kind of disappointing, a little bit sad. There's a lot of interesting themes that it's touching on, of course, when it comes to a movie about an affair and a person of power having an affair with a person with less power. I'm looking at my notes. I took a lot of notes. This is my first time taking notes in a movie theater, which was really interesting to do. But I think a good comparison that's very easy to make for this movie is the movie Night Bitch that just came out quite recently with Amy Adams, and her being a mother and her having her losing her identity in being a mother, and seeking these primal urges, and she's like a dog and stuff like that. And this one, there's a lot of motifs to wolves and the primal urge of sexual pleasure. And so yeah, there's a really big connection between those two movies, I would say. I think the issue that this movie has is that, as though it's touching on really cool concepts of, a woman being the one in power, the woman kind of being the one, and then the intern having this power too over her, and that's kind of the kink to it all. And she has the main character has this kink of wanting there to be stakes, and being there has to be something to entice her sexually, as she's not feeling sexually satisfied with her husband. And that's kind of where all this kind of stems from, is her not being sexually fulfilled, also not fully vocalizing that too, and she admits that. Yeah, when I saw it with my friend, and he thought that there should have pushed it more sexually, and I do think so too. I felt the first sexual scene with him and Nicole Kidman's character was really interesting and actually really well done. But yeah, not all that great. Kind of a mid movie. Amazing score though. It has the same score. The same person that made the score for White Lotus. You can really feel that the music brings a similar sentiment to this film. But I think that it had some songs with lyrics, well-known songs that they kind of put in it, which I think took away from the movie. I don't think they needed to have these random needle drops, whatever they're called, the songs that people know. I don't think that was necessary at all. I think it took away from the movie, to be completely honest. Interesting too, they bring up this thing of her being raised in communes and cults, and there's a flash, a slight flash of it, but then it's never brought up again, which I thought was kind of odd. I really love the scene where she has his tie that she found on the floor after the Christmas party, and then she kind of smells it, and then puts it in her mouth and gets all weird with it. And I appreciated that scene. What else do I have in my notes? Oh, something that I thought about too was this felt a lot especially in the beginning, it felt a lot of pup play, how gay men will like dress up as like put on like the dog mask and kind of have this like dog like personality during certain sexual moments, and I felt like that this was basically like the straight version of that. And okay, I'm also seeing some other notes that I wrote, and there's just one scene where he orders her a whole cup of milk, and then they make eye contact across the room, and then she drinks the whole glass of milk, and then as he's leaving, he calls her good girl, which I thought was so funny. A lot of this movie came off kind of comedic, not gonna lie, and I wonder if that was somewhat intentional, because it feels like it kind of is intentional a little bit. What else can I say about this? Oh yeah, there's just one really long shot of Nicole Kidman and the intern like having like sex for the first time, like, and she's like orgasms from it, and like it's a very like long shot, and I thought that was really well done. I thought that was one of the best scenes in the movie. And yeah, it's interesting how in the beginning of the movie she has all the power in a sense, but then he kind of like threatens her. He kind of like blackmails her basically. So then he has all the power at some points. So there's like a little bit of a role reversal there. And what was... There's a scene where she gets Botox, which I thought was kind of funny. Oh yeah, another scene that I kind of didn't like. It's like it follows like right after all the blackmail stuff, where like she basically like strips naked for him, and then like I don't know, I think it was supposed to come off as. It's supposed to come off as her like being insecure about her body and not feeling beautiful, and then like him telling her that, you know, you are beautiful and all this stuff. But I don't know, the very beginning of that scene, especially after all the blackmail stuff, it did feel a little bit like not consensual, to be completely honest, and that made me feel kind of weird. But then it kind of like worked itself out, and it was consensual, but that scene was a little bit odd. I thought her husband was really great. I wish that he had a little bit more character development. And the panic attack scene was really interesting too. Oh, and then there's this other person with power at work that maybe owns another business or something. He like enters her office, and then he's basically like, I know that you had this inappropriate relationship with an intern, and then she's like basically like, don't mess with me and stuff like that. And it's like, if I want to be humiliated, I'll just pay someone to do it. I thought that was a pretty good scene. But yeah, I think overall this movie, it touches on really interesting themes. It kind of subverts some themes, some like ideas of like power and like patriarchy. But I think it doesn't go nearly as far as you want it to. It kind of isn't really like, it's kind of a new take on like an affair movie with power at like a big age gap type of film, but it doesn't feel new enough or interesting enough to feel like it's needed, to be honest. And yeah, I give it like a 5.5, 6. I give it a 6 because I think the score is really great. Nicole Kidman's amazing as always. She does the best that she can with the material. And yeah. that's a short and quick review of how I felt about Babygirl. Here's the YouTuber thing. Have you seen it? Have you heard it? What were your opinions on the movie? Leave it below. Comment below. Okay, bye-bye.